Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 96 of the 72 review, hurtling towards episode 100, which will be a big special. We'll get another phone in on that one for sure. But yeah, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name's Dan, cover everything Doncaster Rovers, and we do a live stream on a Sunday where we cover everything EFL from Championship through League One and down to League Two. I'm joined by Ian, or Ian's joining me, so I should say. Introduce yourself, let people know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, mate.
Hello, I'm Ian. I'm a 63-year-old Rotherham season ticket holder. And when the Millers are away, I go around the country vlogging for my YouTube channel, which is at Old Man Ground Hopping. I did one from Bramall Lane on Friday night that I was quite pleased with. So that's what I do when the Millers are away.
Good stuff. Link to Ian's channel is in the description down below. Jake may be joining us later, so we're going to start in League One, go to League Two, and then move on to the Championship, hopefully when Jake joins us later on. As always, get your comments in the chat. It does drive the conversation quite a bit, and with only me and Ian being on here, any questions or anything, it will help us have a chat about everything to do with your club. Obviously, when we're on League One, if you're a League One supporter or if you support a team in League One, get your chatting about your club, and then we'll be able to bring them up on screen and get chatting about them. We've got a few comments already. We've got Luca. Good evening. Asks if we're okay. We are. I am. Are you okay?
Fine, thanks, mate.
Lovely stuff. I have pinned a comment for my donation page. If you're new to this, I am a backup in the annual Eves Trust Legends game. It's Doncaster Rovers versus Manchester United. If you can spare any spare cash and donate it towards a fantastic cause, a cancer charity for the people of Doncaster, I will be greatly appreciative of that. We will get on to MK's game later on, and then we've got John in the chat as well. Good evening. So that's us caught up with the chat. Let's get the League One banner ticking across the bottom. Now, we have missed some midweek games. I think you got beat 3-2 by Wickham.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, yesterday's game. But big news coming out of Rotherham. Ian Evans has gone, mate. Talk us through what's happened this week from a Miller's perspective.
Well, to be quite honest, I mean, if a 4-0 home defeat by a relegation-threatened Crawley Town if I knew it would lead to the cancer that is Steve Evans and Paul Rayner leaving our club, I'd have gone out the stadium skipping. I'd have been so happy. And it did, but we didn't know at the time because he used to, every post-match interview, regardless how the result went on, we were always blowing smoke up our owner and chairman's bottom and, praising him at every possible opportunity. But it had to happen. This had to happen because we were going nowhere under Evans and Rayner. The style of football was abhorrent. Hoofball doesn't work in 2025 EFL. It probably did work in 2012 League Two when he started his first spell at the club. But he's not. The managerial duo has not learned to adapt to modern styles of play, and so therefore he just keeps making the same mistakes. There's been a big question mark over his recruitment because when we got relegated from the Championship, we bought a load of 30-something centre-backs mainly, but 30-something players who have had the day, got big reputations and wanted one last payday. He's continued that trend with Sean Raggett, who's been out most of the season injured. And I put injured in inverted commas because I don't think a lot of these players want to play for him. And I'm thinking because Matt Hanshaw, he's got a UEFA coaching license, he was Paul Warren's understudy at Derby, and he's coming to take the team till the end of the season. I would imagine one or two of these injured players might miraculously make a recovery for the last 8 games. Who knows? But getting onto the actual nuts and bolts of yesterday's game, we were completely outplayed by a Crawley side that played some really, really good, fast, direct attacking football. The passing and movement was excellent, and Scott Lindsay coming in there has had a positive effect. They absolutely blitzed us. We should have been 2-0 down before they actually scored. A decent effort from Doyle on the edge of the box. And then Rank bad defending at the start of the second half allowed a cross in from the left-hand side, and Doyle just had time to pick his spot. We tried to get back into the... Well, I said we tried to get back into the game. No further damage occurred until Gavin Holohan, ex-Grimsby player, came on and just found himself with a load of room in the area to pick his spot 3-0. And then another comedy of errors allowed another Crawley player to just go in, shoot, and it came off Hakeem Adoffin. But it was Kamara's goal because it was a shot on target, so we'll give him the goal. As an attacking force, Sam Nombe hit the bar in the first few minutes. Johnson Clark Harris hit the foot of the post. That's when it was still 0-0. But once Crawley took the lead, there were no other winner because we don't tend to claw back deficits. The atmosphere and the toxicity of the stadium at the final whistle had to be seen to be believed. It was absolutely evil, and to a man, I mean, I would say probably 1,800 still in the stadium at the final whistle, and all their anger were directed at one man, Steve Evans. And you might think it's a little bit unfair, but I don't. I think he's taken the club backwards, basically, since he took over. I mean, I think it was a ploy because of his successful stint last time to employ the man to get season tickets sold. We sold 7,500 season tickets, and if we sell 2,000 in the summer, if he'd have still been there, I'd have been surprised because they announced the attendance at just 8,300. There weren't 4,300 there. So you were talking that 4,000 season ticket holders who've already paid for the ticket would rather stay at home, and that is the case.
Not good, is it?
It isn't, especially such a lot, over half really. 4,000 season tickets. So I mean, change had to happen. It's happened. We have to go forward, obviously, for the rest of this season with the squad that we've got. But the next appointment at the New York Stadium is going to be absolutely imperative to see who we get, see what sort of a transfer window we have, who we let go. I mean, personally, yesterday, I'd have let all 14 that actually stood on the pitch, I'd have let them all go because they just didn't seem interested. But
has there been? I know it's early. He's only been relieved of his duties this morning. Is there any names banded about for who might replace him in the long term or not?
There's a lot of people saying Paul Warne coming back because he's out of work, having to be fired by Derby. I'm not a fan of managers going back. We've seen it with Evans. We saw it a few years ago at Rotherham when Ronnie Moore came back. It didn't work. It could work at Doncaster under Grant McCann because they're in a good position, so that might book the trend. But in general, I don't think it works. I think we need a fresh face and we need a fresh coaching staff with different ideas, and hopefully to start us playing football again instead of Evans hoofball. Anyway, thank you for listening to me rant over.
It's all right, mate. John has come in and said, "Evening all. I assume you're very happy, Ian, tonight." Neil's put, "I'm surprised Ian wasn't wearing a party hat." John's also surprised that you're not doing fist pumps every couple of minutes.
When the news broke, I did do a little bit of that.
James, Newport County fan. We will be on League Two a little in a little while. Says another crap game, another crap season. When's it going to end? Is it extreme therapy with you, Ian?
Yeah.
because both teams are dreadful. And ATID is coming as well.
I couldn't agree more.
ATID is happy that they're in single figures in terms of match days left. Roll on League One, resigned to relegation.
I think ATID is resigned to it, isn't it?
Yeah. Looking around League One, a little bit of a shock result for me was Charlton 4, Huddersfield 0. Charlton are doing pretty well at the minute. I mean, they were beaten midweek.
I couldn't believe that Charlton lost 3-0 last week to Peterborough.
Yeah, 3-0 Peterborough, but they've answered resoundingly, haven't they, with a 4-0 hammering of fellow playoff chasers Huddersfield, and it's a damaging result for Huddersfield. It drops them out of the top 6. But Charlton are looking good, aren't they?
Well, to be honest, I mean, Matt Godden, his record at Coventry spoke for itself. He was a goal scorer and a championship goal scorer at that. And Charlton recruiting him with a masterstroke. Very, very good side. Hard to stop at the Valley because they've got a big crowd behind the team. I don't know if auto's out of the question. Probably, I would say. But I think there'll be a hard team to stop in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think
it's not impossible, but
Wickham and Wrexham are battling it out, aren't they? So I think it's possible, but very unlikely with the amount of games left, especially with Wickham having a game in hand as well. So I think
exactly
certainly one to avoid in the playoffs with the form that they're in at the minute.
I would think so, yeah. An exceptional side, and Jones has done a good job there.
Yeah. See if they can finish it off as the season goes on. We've got John in the chat. Talk to us about your thumping of Shrewsbury, John. It looks fairly
it's normally 1-0 with Birmingham, isn't it? 1-0 and 2-0.
But whereas this one, it's kind of more of what we expected of a Birmingham score this season with the squad that they've got. But looking at the stats, it's a comprehensive win. And if Jake was here, we'd have the klaxon sounding a couple of times with Alfie May getting a brace. He's one of those players. I don't know if you're the same or anybody in the chat is the same. There's certain players that play for your club and then move on. And sometimes you're really frustrated and you don't want them to do anything anywhere else. For me, Alfie May, I'm just so happy to see him enjoying football, even before Birmingham, just kind of seeing him score goals and just the joy that he has playing football and just kind of clowning around. I'd take him back tomorrow.
He plays with a smile on his face, which is nice to see.
Yeah,
and he's certainly a poacher, without a doubt.
Yeah, we never played him right. We played him off the wing, and he's shown when played in the right position, he can score goals and he's very good at it. But Birmingham, they're going to win it at a canter, aren't they? Really?
Oh yeah, I think they'll win it probably either at the Easter weekend or just before it.
Yeah. John's come in. Pretty standard game. Didn't get out of second gear. Shrewsbury must go down and one of the worst sides I've seen in the last 20 years of going to Blues games. So they're well cut adrift, aren't they now? And I think probably a nail in the coffin for Shrewsbury.
And they've just appointed Michael Appleton as boss there.
I believe they have.
Yeah, with Ainsworth going. I mean, if I were a Shrewsbury fan, it's a little bit disloyal, isn't it? I mean, he signed a contract till the end of the season. They offered him another 2 years at Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
And he just walks away and goes to a club in the division below. Yeah. Money must have been a factor.
Got to have been. Yeah.
Any
other League One
things Evans used to do that. Just walk away.
Any other League One games tickle your fancy, Ian?
Yes, actually. Reading, for all their off-field problems, they're having a stellar season, really. Yeah. When you consider that they don't know whether they're still going to be a league club in a couple of weeks' time, they just keep turning results out. And do you know, if they actually got in the playoffs and won them, I'd be absolutely delighted for them, because they've just not let the off-field issues affect them on the pitch, and they're consistent. They're good to watch. They're attacking. They've got two of the best players in League One, in Harvey Nibbs and Lewis Wing. Really good players.
Yeah.
There seems
I quite
to be
like Charles
decent
Savage, who scored as well. I think he's a decent midfielder.
Yeah. There seem to be defensively sound as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it'll be a nice little treat for the Reading support after all the worry that they've had this season.
Yeah, I just hope they get a buyer and don't go out of business, because I think we're in the same mindset, even with rivalries and clubs that you've got that kind of, not so much hatred for, but
disdain.
Yeah, like us with Scunny. Scunny have looked kind of on the brink a number of times.
You don't like us very
them.
You don't like us very much either, Dan, do you?
No. But I'd much rather see you in the league and us have the opportunity to play those rivalries and get
exactly kind of the same. I mean, I've got quite a soft spot for Rovers, but I wouldn't like to see any club. I mean, there's one or two clubs I don't particularly like, but I wouldn't like to see them go out of business without any question. I wouldn't.
Yeah, because there's a huge knock-on effect, isn't there? It's something that keeps people going.
Yeah, it's community. It's your identification as a town or a city. You know, they represent the town or the city, and I think it's really sad. I mean, when Bury went out of business and Bolton nearly joined them on the same day, they had that countdown clock on Sky Sports about whether they'd go out of business. And I've never forgiven Jim White for that. And I can't listen to him or watch him since. I just thought that was absolutely evil.
Hopefully the same doesn't happen to Reading. Wrexham, still ticking away.
They still keep doing it, don't they?
They do.
I actually thought out of the top 3 or 4, from what I've seen this season, and I've seen Wrexham, I've seen Wycombe, obviously I've seen Blues, I've seen Charlton, and I would think out of the 3, Wrexham impressed me the least. Out of the automatic contenders, I thought Wycombe were a much better team than Wrexham, but you can't argue with the results, can you?
No, that's it. They're finding those results, they're digging them out, and 9 times out of 10, if you can dig results out consistently, you're going to have a positive season, aren't you? And Wrexham is certainly showing that.
Keep doing the business, yeah.
Good 2-0 win. Okay, let's have a quick look at the League One table before moving on to League Two. So, as we've said, it's looking like Shrewsbury are going to be a League Two.
They're not going to get out of that.
No, far too many points to catch Bristol Rovers up. As of Cambridge, what's that, 11 points? 11 points
they
away.
Look gone. The bottom 2 look gone.
Yeah. Crawley putting a fight up.
They're putting a fight up. They've won the last 2.
Yeah, and Burton not in too bad a form. Obviously, 3 wins in the last 3 defeats in the last 5. But Bristol Rovers, 3 defeats on the bounce. They'll be looking over the shoulder a little bit nervously, won't they?
Yeah, and I mean Northampton can't relax, but they play us on Tuesday night, so they'll be all right.
Hey, new manager bounce, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah,
but I mean, Rotherham can't relax to a certain extent at the minute, can they?
Well, we can't. But yeah, exactly. I mean, hopefully, if we can get, I still think we need probably another 5 points. And I think if the new managerial team can pick those up fairly quickly, we can all look forward to next season. But no, definitely can't relax.
Yeah, like you say,
I must admit,
manager about a couple of wins, one after another, and then just eases it off, doesn't it?
Yeah. If it did go to the wire, I mean, our goal difference of -7 is a bit better than all the others, really.
Yeah, it's a point in itself, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Moving towards the top end of the table, Huddersfield drop out of the top 6 with the result this weekend. Anthony's just dropped in saying no comment from me this week. 1-2, certainly try and forget about. But Reading are in the top 6 with Stockport, Charlton, and Wickham. But Wickham do have that game in hand. Win that, it will
And
take
a
them
better
above
goal
Wrexham on
difference.
goal.
Yeah.
But
it's going to be a fight. I mean, Birmingham are going to be champions. A straight fight for second, and Charlton and Stockport look nailed on for 2 of the playoff spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I say, fight for second. I think. I've just seen ATID's comment. Steve Evan bounced and Arthur Bangkok fell down.
Nice one. Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Right, moving on to League Two. We've got some missed results which are ticking across the bottom. So if you are a fan of a League Two club and you went and watched the game, get your comments in the section down below into the chat, and we'll talk about that. We will start at the Eco Power Stadium. Fairly comprehensive win. I think 3-0 flatters us, to be honest. John's just come into the chat. If I can get it up. League Two, really exciting because it's so tight here. We'll have a look at the table in a little while. It is very, very tight. But yesterday, we've got a makeshift back four. At the minute, Oluwu is out for the rest of the season, which is a big blow.
Ooh, that's a blow.
And he's rejected the first contract offer. So a couple of blows there. I think hopefully we can go back with a better offer, one that is willing to consider, because he would be a big, big player to lose out on. But McGrath is currently out injured, so we've got back centre-back pairing of Anderson and Wood, who have got tons of experience between them, but they're not the quickest, are they? So any decent nippy player in and around them, it does look a little bit nervy. But it was great to see Sterry back at right back. I think he made a big difference yesterday. But Maxwell is out as well, so lots of changes in the back four.
Who played left back then?
Senior, who had a really good game. I thought he played well. So we have got adequate replacements. I think that's a good thing about our squad this season. The strength in depth that we've got is very, very good. Midfield looked okay. I think Broadbent's getting better game on game. Gibson, for me, I mean, I've just seen Jordan's comment. Gibson had a blinder. Same again Tuesday night, hopefully. I can't really argue with Gibson. He's scored. He's got an assist. I just think sometimes his body language looks like he's not interested. He's just kind of sauntering along. He's just kind of...
You get players like that, though, don't you?
Yeah,
you get players...
shoulders. He just don't look bright. Yeah. And we were having... My dad lost his head with him a bit just before he scored. Had a go because he was just kind of walking around and not getting back on side and stuff. But then just like that, he turned it on and managed to get a bit of space in the box and got his shot away, and it was a really good finish. So yeah, like you say, you just get players like that sometimes where they just need, I think, the confidence players, and hopefully an assist and a goal will give him bags of confidence going into the important running that we've got, because I think when he is on form and when he is firing, he's as good or very close to Molyneux, and if you've got them two playing to the potential, I think they'll strike fear in any League Two defence. So yeah. 3-0 in a nutshell. I think it flattered us slightly, especially in the first half. I think second half we pushed on a little bit. Carlisle, for me, weren't a bottom two side. I think we've seen worse at the Eco Power. I just think there's been so many bad decisions this season for Carlisle. I think they are too far adrift, and there will be a National League team next season fighting to get back into the league. If Hughes is still there to rebuild, I don't know. But yeah, for me, I think we've seen worse teams down at the Eco Power this season than Carlisle. So I think they will come back stronger. Fantastic travelling support as well. I will say that for a team second bottom, now rock bottom of the league. I think they brought about 700 to 900, something like that, which is fantastic support for the distance as well. Yeah. But very happy with the result. Very happy with the scoreline. Very happy with a clean sheet, which we don't get that many of. And it's just made the top extremely tight. Teams dropping points left, right, and centre. Other teams picking points up. We've got a game in hand. I'd sooner have the 3 points than a game in hand. We've always said that on the show, that points are better than games in hand. So yeah, hopefully we win that and it puts us in a really good position. It's completely in our hands. We've got some big games. Walsall Tuesday night. We've got Bradford coming up. We've got Wimbledon at home coming up. Notts County away. I think there's another one.
Yeah, you've got a really tough running, haven't you? Really tough running.
Yeah, but it's down to us now, mate. If we beat them, we're beating teams in and around us, and yeah, it's completely within our. It's in our control.
Yeah,
we get the results and we're up. But yeah, every single game now has a cup final, is it?
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Right, I will just have a quick look through the chat. Any League Two game that you want to talk about while I'm catching up on the chat while I was just rabbiting on right now?
I was just thinking that David Artell's Grimsby have started to hit form just at the right time.
They have indeed. There we go. We're up on screen. Colchester, 2 poor results back to back after being so good for so long. Yeah, David Artell's Grimsby, take it away.
Well, I saw them last week, narrow win against Newport, but they impressed me. Going forward, they looked really bright, really inventive, and they've carried that form on. And that was an excellent win at Colchester.
Yeah,
it gives them a good chance of getting the playoffs. I don't know. I just have a sneaking feeling that Grimsby could win the playoffs if they get there.
Yeah,
I mean, they're certainly not. There's not nailed on to get there because League Two this season. There's been, I mean, Rovers have done it, losing to teams that they should be walking all over and then beating rivals.
Yeah.
And so it's been such an income. That's what's made it brilliant this season, League Two, because of the lack of consistency, even of the top clubs. I mean, look at Walsall. At one time, there were it 17 points clear?
I think there were 17 points clear of Donny. I think they've always been no more than 12 points clear a second.
Yeah, but 12 points is massive. And they've just got it clawed back in the space of about 5 or 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting.
I fancy Grimsby to do well, to do well. And I was also surprised that Bradford didn't pick a win up at Accrington.
Yeah, I'll go on to Bradford. Neil, I think you're still in the chat. Let us know what happened at Bradford yesterday. But we have got. I'll bring Notts County up first because we've got a comment from Dale, who's a County fan. Very comfortable for Notts yesterday. Newport looked like a bunch of strangers who've never played together yesterday. The boy Whitaker is getting better every game. Now on to MK Wednesday and Cole you on Saturday. And then Dale said that Didsey was the best player on the pitch again.
I mean, the way he set that second goal up, McGoldrick, the way he set that second goal up, I mean, he's been there, done that, and bought the T-shirt in League Two standards.
Roll back the years.
He's probably the best player in that division.
Yeah. And John says that he wonders if the Newport game was a turning point for Notts. Fully expect Notts to beat MK Dons on Wednesday. I'd agree with that. They're not looking that great at the minute, but Colchester will be a tougher test. And then James has come in saying that Notts County outplayed Newport County as we were absolutely dreadful. Yeah, it's been a bit of a hit and miss season for Newport. There's been some really good results and some not so good results for them. James also said that last week Grimsby, Newport were poor.
Yeah, they were.
No surprise away from home. And then Jardine played Antwi, who was crap, and attacking him in Martin and Kieran Evans, who were tiny. So yeah, just probably set up the way incorrectly against Notts County. But yeah, you look at statistically, no shots on target for Newport at home. It's disappointing, isn't it? And Notts County have capitalised on it. Only 3 shots on target, put 2 in the back of the net.
They've done the job.
They have indeed. And like I said, it might just be the turning point and might go on a little bit of a run now, which is an ideal time to do it, especially with how teams are dropping points and how tight it is. On to Bradford. Neil has come in. He said that we were 2+ up top, Dan. Patterson missed a decent chance. He did. I saw that on the highlights in the second half. But apart from that, it was half chances missed for both teams. And I saw a post on X this morning talking about Cookie, and he's the sort of player that in games like this could have made the difference in 1 point and 3. It's still,
Yeah.
I think it's 5th or 6th in the scoring charts, and he's been out since January. So it just shows how important he is for Bradford,
look
and how he could have made the difference.
Look at that. 1 shot on target in the entire 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, not the best game for a neutral, that is it, really?
No, not indeed. I mean, I've got quite a soft spot for Accrington. I think we've said this before on the 72 review. They're a typical EFL club for us. So seeing this result, I was quite happy because it was a positive result for Donny before we'd even kicked a ball, which was nice. But yeah, Bradford have certainly got to sort out in front of goal if they're going to kind of finish the job off that I think they have got enough in them to do. But yeah, carry on dropping points like that, and it's going to make it tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Any other games you want to touch on in League Two, Ian?
Yeah, the one massive derby game where Port Vale won it against Crewe in the last few minutes with a goal from Jaden Stockler. Massive game for both teams. The near neighbours, aren't they? Crewe and Vale. They're very near neighbours. And yeah, it looks like a better game anyway. A lot of shots from both sides.
Yeah, better one for the neutral.
But that's what promotion winning teams do. Nick a goal in the last 5 minutes to win it.
Yeah. A massive game midweek is Port Vale against Bradford. That's one where I'd like both of you to lose, if that's possible. Hopefully both field some ineligible player or something, but I think a draw or a Port Vale win would set it up even better in terms of kind of how tight the top of the table is.
Yeah. But a vital win for Vale, that. Really vital. Yeah. And that was a good result for you as well, Dan. Walsall and Wimbledon draw it.
Walsall are a funny team, aren't they? I mean, like you've just said, they were 12 points, 17 points clear of Donny at 1 point, 12 points clear of second. I think it was about 12 points consistently clear of second for big parts of the season. And they look like they were going to be the League Two Birmingham in terms of running away with the title, not having anybody kind of close to them at all. But ever since young lad went back to Stoke, Lowe.
Oh yeah.
Was it Lowe?
I can't remember his name, but he was scoring boatloads for a minute.
Yeah, but since then they've just really struggled to find any sort of form and consistency, and points dropped once again, which, like you say, was a real positive for Donny and the chasing pack. Not just Donny, but Bradford, Wimbledon, Port Vale, every single one of us, and now eyeing Walsall, and I think an automatic fight for second and third has suddenly become
turned into
a fight for the title. And it's not just 3 or 4 teams; it's like 6 or 7 teams are in this fight for the title.
They could still win it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's set up to be an absolute fantastic end to the season. But I don't know if my art, blood pressure, or everything else can take it. So I'd just like to see us win a few games on bounce and just be comfortable and have it done and dusted by like Bradford at home. That'd be nice. Yeah. I know that ain't going to happen. It's going to be 6 or 7 teams in with a chance of dropping out at playoffs or getting automatic on that final day, and it's going to be horrible. MTC's coming. It was Nathan Lowe that was at Walsall bagging for fun.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah.
Lewis, Stockport fan here. We've unfortunately gone past League One, but
you're doing well, Lewis. You're doing really well.
Yeah, very, very well. I think playoffs is certainly within your remit.
Yeah, definitely.
And he says that he could honestly see Bradford winning the league. Yeah, it's so open for anybody to really grab it and go for it.
Well, it's any one of those like 5 or 6 teams that could either win the league or miss out on the playoff. It's that tight.
We'll have a look at the table. So the 3-0 defeat for Carlisle. Did Morecambe get a result then on the one? Who did the beat?
Yeah, the one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, they beat Swindon, yeah.
That's a decent result. In fact, before we do go on to onto the table, I did say that we'd touch on MK's result. I think Luca did say something about his game. So Luca did do a vlog. So head over to his channel, check that out. And he wanted to say Happy Mother's Day. Yeah, I should have said that in the intro, shouldn't I? Any mothers watching, or I hope everybody who is watching has wished their mother a Happy Mother's Day. Yeah, they're not appreciated enough, I think, mums sometimes. So if you're watching, mum, love you to bits. Thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day. But yeah, not a great result or performance for MK Dons in this one.
They're leaking goals like nobody's business, aren't they?
Yeah. What do you think it is with MK Dons? Because the squad that they've got for me should be much higher than the position that they're in.
When you consider the two goal scorers, Orsi got promoted with Crawley last season and scored at Wembley in the final. Good striker. Scott Hogan's been around the block. Scored a lot of goals for Birmingham in a higher league. They've got Alex Gilby. They've got one or two more extremely good players. It's just not clicking.
Yeah,
there's a little bit of a overlap between like Rotherham and MK. Exactly the same. They've got the squad on paper that should be a lot higher up the table than they are.
Yeah, Neil said that the change of style of play is how they are more suited to a higher division where they get a little bit more respect, a bit more time on the ball with the quality of players that they've got.
You don't get time to spray. You don't get time to spray passes about and quarterback centre midfielders. Not in League Two because you get the forward players pressing and
and you get kicked to shit.
You don't get time on the ball.
Yeah. Neil's also asked me a question. What about the low allocation of tickets for the away fans for the Donny game, Dan? Do you not like our songs or something? Honestly, I've seen bits on X about this, that you've only been given 1,500. I'm not entirely sure why. Unless it's you always travel very well. You always fill that away end. I think if we give the full away end and round into the east end a little bit, I think that's about 3,500. Maybe Grant wants more home fans in. I think a big game like that should sort of pull a big crowd in, and it wants the advantage to be with us, not against us. You guys always travel in numbers. You're always loud. I don't think I've seen us beat you guys at our place. So, yeah, honest answer to your question, I don't know. I'd assume it's to try and get the home advantage a little bit more and not have a huge away following, sucking the ball into the back of the net in a game which could be a decider for where we finish, either automatics, playoffs, or title. So I think that's probably what it is. Onto this game though, John said, from what I've heard, MK's defence is poor. If that's true, Notts need to bring the best attacking options. Yeah, capitalise on a poor defence, and I think
shipping 4 goals. I mean, Notts have got attacking options, haven't they?
Yeah, they have indeed.
McGoldrick is frightening, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some might say unfair with some of the options that they've got. But yeah, looking at the table, Carlisle looked done and dusted, 9 points.
Gone.
Yeah, 9 points adrift of Tranmere. I think had Tranmere not won the game Friday night and Carlisle had won on Saturday, it'd look a very different picture, wouldn't it? But I think
Tranmere are on a decent run of form at the moment.
Yeah, 3 wins and 2 draws in the last 5. Yeah. Giving themselves a little bit of breathing room between themselves and 23rd and 24th. But I think Morecambe and Carlisle have occupied them 2 spots pretty much all season, haven't they?
More or less, yeah.
And the table certainly doesn't lie this late on in the season.
No.
Gillingham, MK Dons, 2 surprise teams in and around this area, and Tranmere, to be fair. Thought those would be much higher than what they are in the table. But as we move up to the top, this is where it starts to get really, really interesting. Like Neil says, just before we go up to the top, the Williamson project got Carlisle relegated. Another team that probably tried playing too neat a football at a level that sometimes just needs a bit of blood and thunder. But yeah, looking at the picture at the top of the table, we've got Walsall first at the minute on 71 points, Bradford in second on 70, Port Vale in third on 67, Donny in fourth on 66, but a game in hand. Wimbledon on 65, along with Notts County in sixth. Grimsby on 62 and Colchester on 58. So Colchester, Crewe, both on 58, Salford on 56. I'd probably say any one of those three could potentially break into the top 7.
Yeah,
but
it's possible.
There's, 9 points separating first and 7th. So
yeah,
8 games to go. It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
It is that. 7 games to go for some. Oh, no, sorry.
For the majority, yeah, 7, 8 games. Put your neck on line in. 3 who are going up, 4 who are going to get playoffs.
Right. Okay. Neck on line. Bradford champions.
Yep.
I would say Wimbledon second. Rovers third. That's for automatic.
I'll take your hand off now.
Yeah.
What about playoffs?
And I think the playoffs, I think Grimsby will win them. I honestly do. I do. But having said that, the Notts are a really strong side. If they get in the playoffs, they'll probably get to Wembley.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, it's a guessing game, isn't it? It's completely, especially with this division. You just can't. You can't call it.
Can't put your finger on it and fully commit. Neil says usually the team that breaks into the last playoff space goes on to win them. Yeah,
that happens a lot.
MTC agrees with you. I think Grimsby will win the playoffs as well. I said it a few weeks back, and it looked to be kind of out of the picture at like a week later. But I would love Donny, Bradford, Notts County to go up in top 3. Any order, really don't care. I'd love us to be first.
And as a League One fan, with the number of local games next season, it will be absolutely wonderful if that happened.
Yeah. So for me,
some real full houses.
Yeah, for me, I'd love to take top spot, but I really don't care if we finish third. But I'd like Bradford, Donny, Notts County top 3, and Grimsby to win the playoffs. And I think that'd give it a real tasty League One for local games. Local for some, maybe not ATID.
Yeah.
You may as well get an house up here, ATID, if that happens.
Yeah, exactly, because you'll have that many trips up to Yorkshire.
Perivale to 9 hour every weekend to watch music ball. Can't wait. Well, that would be very nice. That's League 2 wrapped up. Jake hasn't made it, but good thing for us, Ian. You had a trip to Championship football, didn't you?
I did, and I did a vlog on it, like I've said. I went to the Bramall Lane Stadium on Friday night to watch Sheffield United mainly because they'd reduced the admission charges to try and get a full house. I only paid 15 quid as a senior to watch a belting Championship game, which I thought was really good value. What can I say? Sheffield United absolutely mullered them. 3-1 flattered Coventry immensely. It doesn't seem that much with 6 on target and 4 on target for Coventry, but the chances the Blades missed, especially first half. First half, they could have probably should have gone in about 5-0 up. The place, the atmosphere were incredible. Best atmosphere I've seen this season. Yeah. Incredible atmosphere, and the Cov fans filled the away end, making a lot of noise. But yeah, Sheffield United completely outplayed them. The first goal was a peach of a free kick by Gus Hamer against his former employers. Straight in the top left-hand corner. Keeper couldn't do anything about it. Second was a lovely move. Sariki got down the right-hand side, sort of like shuffled off his defence and pulled it back for Tyrese Campbell to just tap in. And the third goal, another lovely move, start of the second half. Crossed him from the right-hand side, and Rian Brewster buried it. 3-0, game over. Could have been more after that, and Cov got a pretty scrappy consolation in added time through Jack Rodoni. But yeah, 3-1. It probably should have been 4-5-6-1. But the Blades are looking very, very good.
There we go. Good enough to go on a bit of a run and clinch promotion, do you think?
They've got some tough fixtures. They've got some really tough fixtures. But the way they're playing at the moment, they shouldn't be frightened of anybody. I think the next game is Oxford away, which they should win. Yeah, let's have a look at the Millwall at home again. There's no givens in the Championship. Oh, and then they're at Argyle. It's a good running in it, really. The Burnley match. That's on ITV, by the way. That Burnley Sheffield United. I think that's the toughest one that they've got.
Yeah, because Blackburn are they're poor at the minute. Stoke, although they won this weekend, they're not doing particularly well. HID, they also have us, Ian.
Yeah.
There's points to be won there for sure, isn't there?
There's points to be won. I can't see Sheffield United not getting promoted.
I agree with what HID said there, though. It is the most Argyle thing now to beat them 1-0.
I think the problem that Sheffield United have got is after the win promotion, because the jump up is massive. It's immense. I mean, when you consider that the bottom three in the Premier League at the moment are the three that went up last season.
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence that at all.
No, it's such a big jump, isn't it?
Exactly. It's a massive jump. And the Blades have got to, Wilder and his team have got to invest heavily in the playing staff. Yeah.
I like what HID said here. Because he's resigned to League One football next season. Said to my mate, all we can do now is just fuck everybody else up. Just cause absolute havoc.
Correct. Get in the faces. When they come down to home form, make it uncomfortable. You never know. Yeah.
We'll touch on Plymouth because he has put a comment in the chat. It was in Amsterdam for Watford away. Heard it was boring, and again, Baidu, the biggest waste of £2 million in history of football. Hardy's gone back to missing open nets. Thank God we're already down. 0-0 at Watford though. Earlier on in the season, if you're in a better position, you'd probably take that.
Creditable result.
Yeah,
it's a creditable result.
It's not a helpful one in the position that they're in. I mean,
no, absolutely.
Two shots on target from 18 at goal across both teams. It looks like Plymouth have just kind of allowed Watford to have the ball and just ping it around and soak up pressure. But like you say, a 0-0 away from home, generally you'd want to try and win your home games, draw your away games. But in the position that they're in, they need much better. Been to Vicarage Road 4 times, seen 4 0-0, so it is a regular scoreline.
Oh dear,
almost as certain as the Desmond Tutu at Fratton.
Yeah.
But no, like you say, a credible result, I think. But yeah, Sheffield United winning put pressure on the two teams below them to make the same scoreline or the same result. Burnley have done their bit to keep pressure on the top two.
Yeah. Another 1-0 for Burnley. Another 1-0.
Yeah.
They've made a season of it, haven't they? I mean, I'm sure James Trafford's a bricklayer and he's got an invisible brick wall around his goal. Another clean sheet.
You'll say he's not conceded many this season, has he?
No. Burnley's defensive record is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see. I mean, if they're unlucky enough to miss out, which is possible, you can see the playoff final being a 0-0 snooze fest and Burnley winning on penalties.
Yeah. Yeah, both semi-finals, first and second leg being 0-0. Win that on penalties, and then 0-0 on final, win that on penalties. But yeah,
although I must admit the Ziam Fleming, who they picked up from Millwall, really good buy, because he scored goals regularly from midfield for Millwall, and he's a good addition. And also they've got Brownhill, another good goal scoring midfielder. Very good team. Very good team, Burnley.
I mean, they have shown this season that they can score more than one goal in a game.
Oh yeah, occasionally.
But they're built on defensive solidity, aren't they? They've barely conceded any all season.
Yeah,
and
they are. Yeah.
I think if they are in the playoffs, nobody will want to face them.
No, they'd be the one to avoid.
Yeah. So 2 of the top 3 have done their bit. Leeds dropping points once again, not in the greatest run of form at the minute.
No. I was surprised at this one, actually. Really surprised, because they really could have lost this Leeds, because Swansea had loads of chances when I saw on the highlights. But having said that, they've got Meslier in goal, haven't they? And oh dear, that first goal, when he caught it and dropped it. Oh,
there's so many. He's a mistake every other game, isn't he?
You would think that Leeds have got the resources with the parachute payment, the attendances that they get, and the general standing of the football club, that they could afford to go out and buy a decent keeper, because he was absolutely pants in the Premier League when they were in there, and he's a mistake. He's a disaster waiting to happen.
He's not the worst keeper in the world, though, is he? He's not. He's just very error prone, I think. And
he's a good shot stopper, but there's always a mistake in him, and not only a mistake, a horrific mistake in him, like that first goal, like Swansea's first goal.
Yeah.
But yeah,
ATID's having to leave us. Thank you for joining us for a little bit of your Sunday night, mate. We will hopefully see you next week. But yeah, points dropped.
Definitely. I mean, it just shows you how important that win at Bramall Lane was for Sheffield United. It puts them quite clear now with a little bit of daylight.
Yeah.
But Leeds will go up. Whether it's first or second, Leeds will go up.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Derby Preston play later on in the week. Preston unfortunately knocked out of the FA Cup. I think they were the lowest ranked team in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, they were the only EFL team left in the FA Cup.
Yeah, so from us at the 72 review, we're disappointed that Preston couldn't make it through to the semi-final. Coventry did last season, I think, or season before.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately not see them go that one step further. But yeah, they play Derby Wednesday night.
That's a vital game for Derby as well. That's a vital game.
It is indeed.
We've got a two on Wednesday, haven't we?
We have. Jake's not managed to make it. But yeah, take this one away.
Good point for Wednesday. I mean, they're not going to make the playoffs now. But like I've said on numerous occasions, after last season, it's been a massive improvement under Danny Rowe. Massive improvement on league position, on performances, and on establishing themselves as a credible championship outfit, which they have done now.
Yeah. I'd like to see. I know there was talk about Danny Rowe going to Southampton. I'd like to see him stay and see if he could build on to this again.
Why would he go to Southampton? I mean, they might have got a few more resources than Wednesday because of the parachute payments and whatnot. But he's doing a fantastic job at Hillsborough.
Yeah, I don't know if relationships are a bit.
It's chancery, isn't it? Really,
chancery maybe. I don't know, but I think there were talk that he'd already kind of agreed to go at the end of the season. But I'd like to see if he could build on again. And
that's just speculation. I mean, don't believe anything until you see that corner flag on the website.
Or Danny Rowe stood with
Danny Rowe has done a great job, and they're a match for anybody on the day. Wednesday, they do turn in a few poor performances, that's true. But when they're on it, they're a match for any team in the championship.
Yeah, I think a few shrewd additions, and they're not a million miles away from breaking into that top six. I don't think.
No, they're not. They've got some good players. I mean, how they are going to replace Barry Bannon when he eventually does retire is critical.
Yeah.
Because he's still the fulcrum of that side when he's on the pitch.
Yeah.
But he can't go on forever, can he?
No, a bit like when Cox left Donny.
Yeah.
Just an absolute stalwart.
Some good young players.
Yeah, just provided something pretty much every single game, and Barry Bannon does the same. And I still don't think we've replaced Cops, to be fair.
No, probably not. No, but having said that, it was a hell of a hard act to follow, weren't it, Cops?
Yeah. Shall we have a look at the table?
Run games. Yeah, sure.
Let's have a look at the table. So, ATID is already resigned to going down, 6 points behind Cardiff. It's looking likely, isn't it? They're not in the greatest form. Yeah, when you look at the teams around them, both have got 3 wins in the last 5. They've only got 1 in the last 5. So yeah, it's looking a very, very tough ask for them to turn that around. It's looking like Luton could be following them, but there's only 2 points between them and Cardiff, and 3 points between those and Hull.
Well, so, Derby play Preston on Wednesday night. If Derby win there, it takes them out the bottom 3.
Yeah.
And puts Cardiff there.
Now, for me, League One would be better with Hull City in it next season if the top 3 and the playoff winner from League Two is.
Yeah, well, we've got another Yorkshire side, don't we?
Let's just get them all in. Full League One team, a Yorkshire, like local teams, that'd be very nice. But yeah, they'll be
23 Yorkshire teams and 23 Yorkshire teams and Plymouth Argyle.
Oxford, Stoke potentially looking over the shoulders a little bit. They need to just get a few more points on the board to give them a bit of breathing space, don't they?
I think Pompey have saved themselves because they have a decent run of form, and it's a good first season that for Portsmouth.
It is, yeah. I think maybe that 50-point mark won't be needed this season.
Possibly not, but they'll be better off getting there, won't they? Yeah,
definitely. Sheff Wednesday, mid-table on 52 points. I think
decent.
Any Sheff Wednesday fan with their head screwed on right would be very happy with that after the season that they had last season. Obviously, as a fan, you always wanted to try and do as well as you possibly can, and playoffs has been in touching distance a few times, hasn't it? But I think realistically, it's a very good season after what they endured last season.
Yeah,
only 5 points away from the top 6 though, so stranger things have happened. West Brom, Coventry, Sunderland, Burnley make up the playoff picture at the minute, but Burnley
look out for Borough.
Leeds.
Because you always take one team to gate crash the playoffs, and look at Borough. Exactly. But Borough 3 wins and a draw out the last 5, and West Brom are looking vulnerable.
Yeah. Every time I put Borough on my bet, they either draw or lose. Do me head in.
Yeah.
I've blacklisted them. They're not going on a single one of my bets for the rest of the season. But yeah, Sheffield United put themselves in a really commanding position.
Very healthy, isn't it? It's looking very healthy. Yeah.
But as in League Two, the Championship is anyone's for the title at the minute, which is good.
Well, any one of 3.
Yeah.
I mean, when you consider, look at that. Burnley have only lost 2 league games all season. That is just
conceded 11 goals in 39 games.
It's incredible.
For me, they deserve to go up automatically for that.
And that alone. Yeah.
But 7 games to go. Twists and turns incoming.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get the banner off. So finally, looking at the EFL fantasy football, I had an absolute nightmare last week, didn't I, Ian?
You did, but it's your fault, isn't it?
It is, because it was international break, and I had a break. I totally forgot about it and just didn't change my team. So I've had an absolute
which let me overtake you.
Yeah, open door for you in the mid-table spots. But looking at the table, everybody's over 1,000 points now, which is great to see. It's been a while coming, but it is finally here. Moving up the table, if you see your name, improvement needed next year for sure. But yeah, I dropped down to 11th last week. I've clawed a little bit back.
3 points in front.
Clawed a little bit back, but not much. But now we get into the business end of the table. and it's Bailey who is still top and is broken 3,000 points this weekend with 66 points.
Can't Bailey forget to put his team on a couple of weeks, please? You know,
I'm surprised the comments not coming from Bailey at this point, because he normally drops in at around this time just to see himself at the top of the table. But yeah, massive congratulations to Bailey, 3,000 points. I mean,
yeah,
Cookie on Gas is trying to chase him down, but it's just not quite happening, is it?
Yeah. Have you got midweek games as well in your fantasy league team?
I have. I've sort of missing out this week, mate.
You see, listen to your dad. Yeah.
Chasing you down this time.
Yeah.
Neil's had enough. He's going to kidnap Bailey. Yeah. Don't kidnap Bailey. Just take his phone. Take his phone, all his devices, so that he can't put his team in. That's all we need. Lovely stuff. So we just broke over an hour. It's nice to chat everything EFL. I mean, I've had quite a positive week. I hope kind of chatting has been a therapy session for everybody in the chat.
It started off badly and it's improved tremendously today.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
I've never seen somebody so happy after getting battered 4-0, I will be honest.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah, and actually 4-0 flattered us. It could have been a bad 9. That's how bad we were. Yeah.
Any final words before I wrap up, mate?
As always, hugely enjoyable, and it's got a lot off my chest as well, especially my rant at the beginning. So I feel a little bit better. So yeah, brilliant.
And that's kind of what this show has become, isn't it? It's just about getting shit off your chest so that you can have a good week. Midweek football hopefully doesn't ruin the whole week, and then a positive weekend next weekend. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I just want to pass my thanks on to everybody who's been in the chat. It's been pretty lively tonight, which is good. Always drives the conversation, which is always positive. And the show is as much for you guys as it is for us talking rubbish about our teams. So yeah, big thank you to each and every one of you for spending a bit of your Sunday evening with us. Join Ian on his channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and all of the other lads who tend to come on to the 72 review. Links are in the description down below. If you're watching this on repeat or throughout the week, stick a big thumbs up on it, share it, get it out there so more people know that we are here. Get your comments in the section down below as well. But yeah, all that's left for me to say is thank you for watching, and we'll see you same time, same place next weekend. Have a good one.
Yeah, cheers.